Hi, everybody. My name is Heather Stockley, and I'm the new Manager of Education, Programs and Engagement with Skin Health Canada, and I'm super excited to be with you today. I know many of you have been anticipating the launch of the new Tri-Complex Body Contouring Cream, which we're going to get to, but I really wanted to talk about building a journey with not only home care, but professional care to help you and your clients achieve their best, most beautiful body for 2021. And, you know, nobody likes to hear the C word anymore, but COVID has probably established some changes in your habits and lifestyle that have affected the look of your body. And now that spring is here and summer and all that great warm weather, as we start to remove layers of clothing, we're probably noticing things we're not so comfortable with. It's time to undress. First, we've probably experienced less travel in 2021. We haven't been able to go to those tropical destinations, get a little bit of a sun-kissed glow for the skin to feel radiant and fresh. Other thing, our exercise habits have probably changed. So yeah, we've had access to outdoor time and indoor time to boost cardiovascular activity, but not everybody has access to weights to do their strength training, which is so essential for body contour and the body profile. Many of us who love to do spin classes, yoga, and Pilates haven't been able to attend those either. So our body probably is, or could be, a little bit different shape than it was in 2019. And we've probably been eating a little bit more. So if we've been binge watching Netflix and staying up later, having a few not so good snacks, because I love my chippies, it's affected us and our body. So our focus on self-care is more relevant than ever, coaching our clients to really think about their body like their face. It is both going to age. The face and the body are structured very similar, only the skin on our body is much thicker and a little more resilient to damage. But they're both made up of collagen and elastin fibers. They both see breakdown in the collagen and elastin network. And we need to address that. We're going to see sagging and lack of tone, which I'm going to get to in just a minute. So after this webinar today, I also want you to think of some of your best self-care moments. Did it focus on body? Was it taking a nice bath? Was it, you know, taking a resilient walk? Just think about it. Without further ado, though, let's get into our presentation. So, our best body 2021. Areas of concern. So here we see cellulite, which is a top concern for many women because 90 to 95% of women actually have cellulite, scars and stretch marks. And depending on the research that you look at, stretch marks often fall into the same category as scarring. Lack of tone and contour. So we're starting to see, again, sagging, but also loss of volume and shape in the silhouette of the body. Bacne, which I'm not really going to go into detail today, but it is something to consider when you're considering the body. It's, you know, it gets acne scarring, it gets uneven tone and pigment. And as people start to wear tank tops and dresses and maybe even a bikini, they're starting to think about things like this. And I don't have it on the list, but Dr. Des Fernandez always talks about the submental area and sagging that occurs in the jawline, which could be partially due to weight loss, but it can also be due to glycation, where the collagen and elastin fibers are starting to break down. And the first place we see it is in this triangle where the ear and the lower jaw starts to run to the chin and down into the neck. So glycation happens here first. I've talked about this on my first webinar with Skin Health, but all those sugars in your body that have accumulated are bonding to those collagen and elastin fibers. They harden and they cause them to snap. And that's where we see some of the sagging. So I hope you'll enjoy as we walk through each areas of concern, how we can look at them as targeted regions and offer precise home care and professional treatment. So first of all, cellulite. Before I talk about how it was formed, what is it, or how do we get it in the first place? Well, many of us are genetically predisposed to having cellulite. Again, women, 90 to 95% of us have it. Men do not, and I'll get there in a second. So genetically predisposed because our DNA is geared to hold more fat for childbearing. Whether we have children or not, our DNA is to hold more fat. Also, if we don't have a proper diet or nutritional background, we don't have exercise in our lifestyle, we will see an increase in the formation of cellulite. And I like to talk about toxins in the body. So remember, your skin is like a sponge. So everything you come in contact with, whether it be your chemical household cleaners, the products that you're using on your body that may not have the healthiest of ingredients, even things like gases and emissions in your house that I actually never knew about till I listened to Dr. Dez's Instagram Live, and he talked about the emission of radon, which actually happens underneath the soil of the earth, but those gases escaping can come into your home and be quite toxic. So there's so many extrinsic and extrinsic factors that on a daily basis are affecting our skin, building up and contributing to cellulite. So how is cellulite formed? Well, first of all, our fat cells are called the adipocytes, and the adipocytes are situated in the hypodermis, which is in your subcutaneous layer. And in this layer, you have white fatty cells and brown fatty cells. So when we refer to fatty cellulite, we talk about the brown fatty cells. And what happens is over time, again, due to some of the factors like diet, exercise, and toxins, these fat cells are starting to expand and grow. And in the structure of the female skin, when they can no longer expand horizontally, they push vertically up towards the epidermis. Hence, we get that rippling or orange peel effect, which we're going to get to. When fat cells can no longer expand horizontally, I just said they move on up. But we need fats. Our body is a really big organ. It works synergistically with the other systems of the body, like the respiratory system, the circulatory system, the endocrine system, and it has a lot of roles to play. First of all, it's like our thermostat. So it gauges our heat, or whether we sweat or we feel hot and cold. It has our neuroreceptors to feel pain. Again, we rely on fats for storage of critical nutrients for the body. So we need to store nutrients to be healthy. Fats help regulate hormones. They regulate blood pressure and they regulate blood sugar levels. And if you look at these last 3 points, hormone regulation, regulating blood pressure, and regulating blood sugar levels, you'll notice a lot of the time, if you start to gain weight or become a little bit overweight, in your blood work, some of these things will actually be a little off kilter, a little off point, and your doctor may discuss those things with you. So these are some of the things that fats do. They are important, but they do have to be monitored. Hence why I put that piece of bacon over there. It's, we have some essential fat and then we have some not so good fat. So the formation of cellulite. So if we look at this diagram here on the left-hand side, we have our healthy fat, our healthy skin layer, and on the right-hand side, our unhealthy skin layer. So what happens if we look to the middle of this PowerPoint and we see these golden globes, or I'm going to call them the golden fat globules. On the left-hand side in the healthy skin, they start small and they are contained by the connective tissue. However, in time, as those globules start to expand and grow, when they can no longer expand horizontally, they will go vertically and push up into the epidermal layer, causing that rippling effect or that uneven skin tone. The unfortunate part about this is, well, it's not always as easy to correct. Our body naturally creates fat cells very quickly, but it's much harder to reduce fat. So just keep that in mind. So one more analogy I love to use is the body on our skin. It's like a mattress, and then on our face too. A mattress, when we buy it, is even top to bottom, side to side, and whether it be a memory foam mattress or springs, it's consistent throughout. But what happens over time? Well, after sleeping on that mattress and our body weight, for example, we start to see sinkholes. That's the same with our skin. We start to see uneven tone and lack of smoothness. That is cellulite. So moving on from here, we can talk about cellulite in different stages. So depending what article or information you research, some Medical research refers to cellulite in 5 to 6 stages, but to keep it simple, some just go sort of through the 0, 1, 2, 3. And 0, of course, is when you have no cellulite, the skin is smooth, it's radiant, it's firm. But as we get into the stage 1 of cellulite, which you can have a visual in the bottom right corner, this is the kind of cellulite as the orange peel, and we often can't see it until we pinch the skin, or perhaps when you're sitting on a chair, your leg presses against the firm part of that chair, and you'll see a little bit of a dimpling effect. So here are the adipose cells, the fat cells are accumulating, and the connective tissue that's holding them together is starting to break down and compressing. This first phase, the skin may also appear a little bit wrinkled. So you may not see a lot of dimpling, but you'll see crepiness of the skin. Then you have stage 2. So again, the fat cells are growing even more, and the skin is starting to become a little harder, and dimpling is much more visible. Here we see a decreased circulation and decreased blood flow in the skin. So it may start to have a dull or ashy appearance. That's because, you know, those fatty components are blocking the proper circulation and the blood flow. Finally, going back to stage 2, the toxins are building up at this point as well, and we have more of the cottage cheese effect. Finally, stage 3, we see that the cellulite can be chunky, and I like to refer to it as 3-dimensional. Hard nodules are visible, and this cellulite can often become painful to the touch. There's a lot of water retention, so this is considered our worst stage of cellulite. But why do men not have cellulite? So here's the thing, men don't have cellulite because they have stronger connective tissue that is keeping those golden globules of fat contained. So we'll talk about that, and I'll show you a diagram in a minute. The woman's skin has 34% less collagen fibers and 57% larger fat globules. Fat cells in the females contain double the fat storing enzymes. And the fat cells in men are encapsulated or shielded or contained by almost like a thicker diamond wall, whereas the females' fat cells are only contained by vertical single walls. So they have that opportunity to escape once there's no more room in the room. So men, you know, women, we tend to see fat under, or cellulite under the buttocks, on the thighs, on the tummy, the breasts, and under here, under where our triceps should be. So we get these little bit of wings. The men, they get more fat in the abdomen, but again, they don't see cellulite. So he's got the beer belly. We don't always get the beer belly. So this particular diagram here shows you the difference between the male skin, which is on the left-hand side, and the female skin on the right-hand side. So there's no difference in where our fat is stored in that hypodermis, in the subcutaneous layer. But if you look at the male on the left-hand side, they've got that very sharp diamond, thicker connective tissue wall, whereas on the right side, the woman's channels are vertical, and there's not that that shield that's going to prevent those fat globules from moving up towards the epidermis. So I hope that makes sense. So now our second area of concern is the scars and stretch marks. So they kind of go hand in hand. And here I've listed the 5 different types of scars: atrophic, keloid, stretch marks, hypertrophic, and contracture. Your atrophic scars tend to be as a result of acne, usually cystic acne, but not all the time. These scars lack collagen. They heal below the upper layer of the skin. And we have 3 different types here. When we see these pitted scars, we have the boxcar, the ice pick, and the rolling. And I'm not going to get into too much detail today, but in layman's terms, you may have sort of more pinpoint scarring versus a rolling scar, which will be longer and more wavy. Then we have our keloid scars. These are the hard ones to treat. We can't really needle over those. You have a cluster of overgrown granulated tissue at the site of the original wound. They may be shiny, a little bit fibrous nodules, so they're textured and they're raised. So we have to be really careful. Often only steroid injections, surgical removal, or laser can actually eliminate the keloid. So you have to be very careful with that. Stretch marks, or striae, Again, we can see these in pregnant women when the skin has had to expand beyond its normal comfort zone. People who have lost weight, so they've been much larger and the skin is stretched and they've lost weight. Even teenagers, for example, when they have a rapid acceleration of growth, we may see this on their legs, on their tummies, even between the pectoralis major muscle, the pectorals or the pecs, into the arm. You may see stretching when the limbs are starting to grow. So we see a bunch of different reasons why we have stretch marks. Cortisol levels and hormone levels, as well as genetics, also play an important factor. But again, needling, retinoids, and fillers are a great opportunity to help with stretch marks. Then we have the hypertrophic, and these result from excessive collagen deposits after the injury or the trauma. They are still raised and a little bit textured, but not as thick and as large as a keloid. So we have some ability to treat the hypertrophic. And these we can also do with some great home care as well. And finally, we have the contracture, and the contracture is usually a result from a burn. So if you've ever had seen someone who has severe burning, what happens when the skin got really hot and then it cools down is it tightens and it contracts. And this usually happens after a 2nd or 3rd degree burn. And it can also leave some extreme redness to the skin. But we know, again, with treatment, we can help reduce the appearance of the contracture burn. In severe cases, though, these are individuals who may have to have a skin graft just to help repair the texture and the overall tone of the skin because there has been so much damage. So this just gives you a visual of the different types of scars. On the top left, we have the atrophic, which is the acne-related scarring. So your pock marks, your ice pick scars, so those we can treat again with peeling, microneedling. We have so much opportunity. The right of that, we have the keloid. So this is the raised scar. We have to be very careful with this, so we wouldn't needle this. And be very careful with treatment and expectation on this. Then we have the hypertrophic on the far right, again, slightly raised, not as much as the keloid. Bottom left, this is the contracture scar. So you can experience this in a burn. So you'll see how the skin is really tightened, it's wrinkled a little bit, and it's got that red pigment I discussed. And finally, the stretch marks. So stretch marks can be dark in pigment, they can be there forever. But what I always tell people, when you're treating scars or stretch marks, you have the best result when those scars are still fresh. You want to address them, when they still have pigment in them, they're under, a year or two, the sooner the better. If you have a client that comes to you though, and they've had a scar that they've had for 10 years, you may not, they may not see the results that they would like. So you have to be really honest. When a scar is really old and it's lost its pigment, it doesn't have the blood flow that it used to. We consider the tissue a little bit dead. So keep that in mind. But again, going back to scars, if you've had a female who's had a tummy tuck or a male, they've had surgery on the breast area, maybe for augmentation or reduction, great opportunity if they've had a C-section. So points to consider. Next, we talk about lack of tone. So lack of tone, this is when we see sagging, skin laxity, the skin lacks volume and it's no longer firm. So of course, Environ deals with this issue beautifully. When the skin is deficient of vitamin A, we know we see laxity and oxidative damage. We see damage and, lack of tone due to sun exposure and sun damage. Poor circulation, so decreased blood flow will of course affect that whole region of the skin. It'll start to break down and it doesn't have the vitality that it once had. Weight loss, of course, so when you were larger and then you have a drastic loss in weight, you will definitely see sagging. So you see some severe cases where clients may have had, hundreds of pounds of weight loss, and then they have sagging skin, they have extra skin. But if, those cases are a little bit different. If we have just moderate weight loss, we see what's called elastosis, and we can help treat that. Pregnancy, of course, the tummy and other areas of the body expand. Lack of exercise, diet and nutritional deficiencies, super important. We need those minerals and vitamins for all elements of the body. And finally, smoking. And I just want to touch on this one because this is really interesting. My mom, who's 78 years old, she quit smoking when she was 75, and she smoked since she was about 13. And believe it or not, the doctors and scans said her lungs are great. However, she needed a bypass on the artery of her leg for a blockage, and that's probably due to the toxins and the buildup and the decreased blood flow and the narrowing of the arteries. So just something to consider. And one more thing, Dr. Des always talks about treating the submental area. So this area under the chin into the neck that sees sagging, usually due to glycation. So going back to those sugars, we want to make sure we start to firm and tone this up. So we can see some great body results using the DF machine and needling to assist with lack of tone. So without further ado, let's get into our home care first. So Body EssentiA, because I know we're all dying to hear about the Tri-Complex Body Contouring Cream. Knowing the range, so let's introduce ourselves to Body EssentiA. And there are now 4 SKUs for retail based on the Environ technology. First, we want to deliver vitamins to the skin. So we see the key driver as being vitamin A, but we also see a lot of vitamin C and E, which is really food for the skin. We have antioxidants. So antioxidants are not only free radical fighters, they are fighting environmental aggressors. So that they work hand in hand. The body is always being compromised, or the skin is always being compromised by invaders, pathogens, bacteria. So we really want to make sure the body's healthy enough to fight that. And we have moisturizers. So moisturizers are super important, not only for the barrier protection, but natural moisturizing factors to nourish. I always say barrier protection because, again, if this barrier is not intact and it's not healthy, we set ourselves up for infection, dehydration, eczemas, rosaceas, and other conditions. Even men, they get microcuts from the traditional shave. And if they have a cut, it opens the window or the door for invasion. And finally, we have the other benefits and ingredients that help to tone and firm the skin. So we want to normalize and perfect, protect and defend, smooth and soften, tone and firm. So here we go. We have our 4 SKUs, our Tri-Complex Contouring Cream, which is brand new. We're going to get to it. This is our cellulite and contour body profile hero product. Then we have our Dermalac lotion. It's not new, but it's a winner, and it gets blended with either our vitamin A, C, and E body oil or the vitamin A, C, and E body oil forte. So let's get to know each one by one. But before we talk about each one by one, I need to remind you, Environ is award-winning technology. They have a very great research and development team in South Africa, really studying the science behind our ingredients and our concepts to ensure that we have results-driven products. Again, we want to optimize our home care, optimize our in-clinic treatments to give what the clients are looking for in today's world. They're demanding, they want results. All right, here it is, the Tri-Complex Contouring Cream. This is a new product available in retail for the client to treat cellulite, dimpled skin, uneven skin tone, and of course texture. So this is super exciting. And before we get into the ingredient base, let's talk about use. So it can be used in one of 2 ways. First, you can massage the cream into the clean skin on the body, neck, and décolleté morning and evening. I always say décolleté is super important. So many of clients I've met in the past do not treat sun damage here. The skin is so much thinner and so much crepier than the rest of the body. So neck and décolleté, don't forget it. So again, it can be used alone after you shower on clean skin, or it can be applied before you use your Dermalac lotion mixed with your body oil body oil and body oil forte. You're either using one or the other for really intense body treatment. And it's good for 25 months before it's open. And once open, we really stress the clients using it within a 10 to 12 week period. You know, over the years, I have clients, they come to me and they're like, I still have that product that you gave me 6 months ago. If your clients are not using their product within 10 to 12 weeks, they're not committed to really targeting that zone. So you have to enforce the importance of morning and night, and really, it's not good to scrimp on their product, okay? We're always going to have overusers and underusers, but we really want to instill the importance of using their product consistently. And make sure that they're washing their hands after use, because usually with these kind of very active products for cellulite, they can cause a little bit of tingling, especially in the webbing of the fingers. You don't want to get it in your eye. So make sure the client thoroughly washes their hand afterwards. So here we are. This is our product that's going to target cellulite and lack of even tone on the skin. So let's go into the complex, because it's a very savvy tri-complex, triple complex. And first we're going to talk about the Intense Slim. So going back to when I talked about cellulite in the beginning of this webinar, what's happening over time is those adipocytes or fat cells, the golden globules, are growing, and that connective tissue can no longer contain them. They push up towards the epidermis, causing that rippling effect. So this Intense Slim is super amazing because it's going to fight fat storage. It's going to promote fat burning. So we always talk about the process of lipolysis. So, you know, those brown fatty cells are going to start to accumulate, but through lipolysis and boosting our body's metabolism, we can actually start to burn fat. And this is done by the enzyme desnutrient. And finally, point number 3, help fat cells return to their original shape. This is our first ingredient. Our second ingredient is our phytosonic. So this is not only going to help protect our cells, because we don't want to have cell death. We also want the cells to be healthy, to transfer their messaging on a regular basis, what they need to do to be healthy. And we want to boost cell energy, so ATP energy, especially in the mitochondria. So the mitochondria are like the drivers in the nucleus of our skin cells. And when we say ATP energy, this stands for adenosine triphosphate. Let's take a car example. So you have a really great car, but over the years, you didn't do oil changes, you didn't service the transmission, the brakes, all of those things. Well, what happens over time? It gets old. That's what happens to us. Our skin gets lazy. It has to be maintained to boost the mechanisms that are needed to fulfill things such as cell energy, cell communication. And finally, the phytosonic is going to work on decreasing the fatty acid uptake. Okay, next, Vexil. So we have the Vexil SP. This is the ingredient that's going to firm, tone, and reduce the slackening and the sagging. So what a well-rounded complex. Everybody needs this ASAP. Summer's coming. In addition to that, we have 3 beautiful vitamins. So we have our vitamin C, which is an ascorbyl tetrasomal palmitate. That's a mouthful. But vitamin C is so great because it has 6 effects: lighten, tighten, brighten. That's easy. Fights free radicals, fights environmental aggression, and stimulates the collagen and elastin production in our skin. That's what we need. We need to boost the collagen and elastin production so that we strengthen the architecture of the skin. And I also think about the ECM, the extracellular matrix of the skin, because we want to maintain that cohesion between the epidermal layer and the dermal layer. So very important. Next, we have Tocopherol Acetate. So that's our vitamin E. It's a beautiful antioxidant, and it's going to protect from environmental aggressors. So this is another great ingredient. And finally, we have our provitamin B5. This is a moisture binder. You always have to treat hydration levels in the skin, because if the skin's not hydrated, it doesn't benefit from the effects of the other actives, such as the vitamin C's and the vitamin A's. Hydration means it's prepared, it's ready to accept actives. It's like the plant analogy. If you have a dead plant, should you fertilize it or should you water it? Well, that bulb underneath the soil may still be alive. So we always say water first and then we add our actives. So this is our ingredient complex, super savvy. It's going to be very results driven. Here's some before and afters of a client using this for, I believe it was 3 months. And if you look at the first picture on the left, we have the before and after. You'll see the skin started off, it lacked radiance, it lacked glow, it looked dull, and there was a lot of uneven tone and rippling. So look at those results after. Then on the right, we see the before and after of the side of the thigh, even underneath the buttocks. Look at underneath the butt area on the upper left. The fat accumulation and the dimpling was very evident, and you have a much smoother appearance after that period of 3 months. So beautiful results with this product, even down the whole shaft of the outer portion of the thigh. So that's the Tri-Complex Body Contouring Cream. And now I'm going to talk about the Alpha Hydroxy Dermalac Lotion. And alpha hydroxy acid is so important for gentle exfoliation of the skin. And here we have a combination of lactic acid and ammonium lactate. This is why Queen Cleopatra loved her milk baths in Egypt thousands of years ago, because alpha hydroxy acids not only have a gentle exfoliating effect, but they also are intensely moisturizing. And as we know with Environ, we don't use mechanical exfoliation. We really want to have something that's very gentle but effective. So that's why we have these ingredients in our complex. We also have some urea and some natural moisturizing factors. So this is our Dermalac lotion, which is used in combination with vitamin A, C, and E body oil, or the body oil forte, which we'll get to. So first we have the vitamin A, C, and E body oil. So again, rich in our vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E. You know, our vitamin A, it's for pigmentation. It's going to help reprogram the cell communication and the cell function. It's going to help with collagen production. It has many, many great effects. It's also all about the radiance. Vitamin C, we talked about the 6 effects earlier: lighten, tighten, brighten, but mostly boost that collagen synthesis, super important. And our vitamin E is all about antioxidant protection from photo damage. So we are always exposed to blue light, UVA, UVB, UVC. So we're going to have this great ingredient that's going to come in and protect the skin. Additionally, it's also rich in helping to protect us against inflammation. So inflammaging is a thing, and we all have inflammation in our bodies, but sometimes we just can't see it. So we want to reduce inflammation as much as possible. Then in our ACE Body Oil Forte, okay, we have a stronger complex. So again, this is our step up, because Environ's all about start low, go slow. This is going to be, again, very rich, mixed with our Dermalac lotion. Key ingredients, we have the soybean oil. So soybean oil is another great, richer source of vitamin E, and it's ideal for elasticity of the skin. It will help reduce the appearance of the lines and the wrinkles. So again, a very important element and point of difference here. Our second unique selling point when comparing the ACE body oil with the Forte is that we have the rosemary extract here, and rosemary has not only antioxidant benefits, but it improves dark spots and blemishes. It helps prevent premature aging. It reduces puffiness in the skin, and it's a great anti-inflammatory. So application steps: first, we target the zone we want to treat. We mix our product together. So when we refer to mix here, we're talking about the Dermalac lotion in unison with our vitamin ACE body oil and our vitamin ACE body oil Forte. So again, target the zone or the problem area, consult with your client, mix the product, and at home, they're going to massage it in through the skin. And, you know, massaging with their skin actually stimulates the blood flow and the microcirculation. We can also help to break down a little bit of the fat globules by using kneading and pinching movements. So sometimes we have to be a little intense, and we need to spend the time doing this at home. So teaching our clients this is super important. We can also do some dry brushing in the shower, or sorry, just before we start the shower, use a nice bristly boar brush and dry brush the skin to activate stimulation and blood flow. So just a few tips. So we see optimal results with our Body Power Duo because we are taking the benefits of the AHAs in our Dermalac lotion. Okay, so we are going to target the protein bonds that are creating like an intercellular cement between our cells that are preventing those lovely new cells that give us our glow from reaching the epidermis. So we're breaking down that intercellular cement so the new fresh cells can come to the surface. Pairing this with our vitamin A, which will not only normalize the skin, but offer us DNA protection. So this shows the client after 8 months using this power duo. And if we look at her arm area, so we're looking here at the forearm up into the upper portion of the arm, look at the reduction in lines and wrinkles. Look at the reduction in pigmentation and sunspots and dark spots, and look at the beautiful change in the architecture of the skin, especially in the crook or where the elbow region is. So definitely some great results. I think it's really important too when we're looking at something, why 8 months? Well, nothing happens overnight. And just like our skin is a lifestyle journey, our body needs to be a lifestyle journey as well. It takes time. So now let's talk about professional treatment. We've talked about home care remedies. What are we going to do in clinic for our treatments on their journey? So I'm just going to show you a quick video. We realized that this doesn't always have the audio when we show it. I'm going to talk through it, and then we can issue a link to the video later. So I'm just going to press play here. This is sometimes finicky. So of course, we know everything about the body profile, and improving the silhouette of the body is about creating beautiful, healthy skin for life. Phase 1, of course, is always our consultation phase. We need to consult with the client, see their areas of concern, and then we can get into our skin preparation. We can prepare the skin with our cleansing gel, creating a nice rich foam or lather, and remove with a compress. And we will use our toner forte. So we've got the AHAs in here. So that's our natural or gentle, non-abrasive exfoliant. And we can use cotton pads for that. We can then do our needling, which creates the pathways for our active ingredients to optimally penetrate the skin. Step 3, part 2 is to use our DF machine with sonophoresis. So we can target the arms, the thighs, the buttocks, the abdomen, the upper and lower portion of the breast area. So here we'll use the body profile gel. And we will pair this with the body sonophoresis probe. Keeping in mind when we use either the probe on the body or the face probe, we always hold our probe in each section for 15 seconds. We need to do that to optimize the cavitation and microchannels. And we would complete each treatment with massage using our massage oil. Again, our massage is a manual massage, but it feels quite amazing for the client in their journey. Okay, so sorry, I'm just going to go back to this slide. So let's take a peek at 2 protocols we have here. First, we have the body profile for the submental area, so the lower jaw, which Dr. Des again loves to refer to. So as per our video, we're going to prepare the client after consultation in our preparation phase. We then go to our active phase where we're using our body profile gel with the sonophoresis for 15 seconds on each position as required. So we may work as far back as where the earlobe is, all the way down the triangle of the jaw, where the jaw meets the neck to the chin, and a little bit into the neck as well. And of course, after we've done our sonophoresis, we would finish with our essential moisturizer and sunscreen and discuss what we're going to do with the clients for home care. Because we know home care is 80% of the results. We don't always see our clients every day. It's just like the dentist. We may see the dentist 2 to 3 times per year, but what are we doing the other 362 days of the year to optimize the health of our mouth, for example? Okay, and our second protocol, whether we're targeting specific areas of the body, again, whether this be under the buttocks or on the buttocks, the thighs, this skin underneath the arm, this is the process. Again, we can preparation phase. We're going to cleanse and use our toner forte. Then we can do some needling. So of course we know needling is our collagen induction treatment. It prepares the skin to accept the active ingredients. And then our active phase, we're going to introduce the body profile gel with the sonophoresis probe. Again, 15 seconds per area. Complete the treatment with our massage oil on the skin. And of course, after either treatment, always recommending home care. So we saw the DF, we saw microneedling. Let's just go quickly into microneedling, which is collagen induction therapy. You know, at home, your clients can microneedle with their Environ CIT roller. They can do this on a daily basis if they like on the targeted areas. And again, we know they can target wrinkles, scars, lack of tone, etc. In clinic, we at Skin Health Canada, we will use the InnoPen, and it's very, very easy to use. It's lightweight, and yeah, so we know with cosmetic needling, more so for your clients at home, they're going to go at a shorter millimeter length of a needle, whereas in a clinic with a surgical or medical director, we can go much deeper. So InnoPen Skin Health has this available. It's made in the USA. It was approved by Health Canada in 2017. And the concept is not only to stimulate the fibroblasts in the skin, but to stimulate the collagen and elastin synthesis. What is this going to do? Well, it increases penetration of your subsequent care, and it's ideal for the body and the face. If you want more information about InnoPen, you can reach out to our business success coaches or talk to your area sales manager. In closing, we've seen some beautiful home care products, professional treatment. Now let's coach our clients. You know, they can do everything in the book, but if they're not doing everything that encompasses lifestyle and their products and their treatment, the results won't be as good. So first of all, body EssentiA. We need their home care. We need professional use. So we need to set up that journey for them. Second, we can treat the body in clinic with DF machine and needling treatments. And lifestyle changes. Let's make sure we are very, we stress the importance of setting expectations, because here's the thing. If we set the bar up here and the client only gets results that are here, we lose trust. We have to tell them this is not the time to eat Burger King every day. We're not drinking soda all the time. We're starting to think about the composition of our intake of foods. And of course, exercise, okay? Nutrition, of course, outweighs what we do for exercise. Really, really, if you listen to a nutritionist or someone in sports, they will tell you nutrition is, the 80%, but exercise is also important. And it's not just, the cardiovascular, it's the strength training that builds the muscle, that builds the tone, the firmness, and the density. And of course, incorporating bend into this. They need their Renew and Protect, their rich omegas, and they need their marine collagen. These two products, they go hand in hand. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail today. We will discuss these on our virtual conference on April 27th. But again, all about ingestible skincare, because what goes on in the inside is reflected on the outside. Before I say goodbye today, I want to, in closing, invite you to join our Spring Inspiration Party, which is April 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you visit our website, you sign in, you can find the registration there. Or if you love Instagram, go to our Instagram page at Skin Health Canada and go to our link in bio. We're going to have lots of great giveaways. We're going to talk about trends in skin for 2021, some new products that are coming that I'm not going to share yet, but we have some new product launches coming in the next, 2 and 3 months. Those are super exciting. And we're going to have a great time. So we hope to invite you. It's a live interactive seminar. I know a lot of people in Ontario are on lockdown and they need that inspiration and that motivation to feel good. And when you feel good, it reflects on making your clients feel even better. Also, for the West Coast too, we've all experienced the challenges of 2020 and 2021. So let's have some fun, let's feel inspired, and let's share. Before I close today, if you have any questions, feel free to email me if it's educational. And my email is Heather Stockley, and that's Stockley spelled STOCKLEY @skinhealthcanada.com. Or if it's about product or orders, you can reach your business success coaches and always your area sales managers. On behalf of the Skin Health Canada team, I want to thank you for joining today. I hope you learned something. I hope you're inspired. Let's get contouring. Bye for now.